Sometimes we wonder, we take a step back, we ask ourselves, what is the purpose of having a synagogue? What is ultimately what we're trying to accomplish by sustaining this space and its activities? What's it all about? I want to share a little story. I spoke recently with a longstanding member of our congregation. He is the son of a rabbi and the grandson of a rabbi. His grandfather was a renowned scholar in Europe, and his father was an extremely erudite rabbi of a congregation. But the timing was challenging. His father was rabbi during the Depression. The synagogue simply could not afford to continue to support him, and they said to him, "We can no longer support you as rabbi." So he found himself in a very difficult financial circumstance with his family. And he went with his children to a yeshiva, to a school, Jewish school, and he asked if his children could enroll. And the head of the school said to him in Yiddish, which is the language that they were speaking in, basically, no money, no school for your children. And so ultimately, he was not able to receive that yeshiva education. He received his education from other places, possibly not as rigorous as what he would have received. I'm going to come back to his story a little bit later. We read this morning about the observance of the holidays, Mo'adei Adonai, about the appointed times that God shared with Moses and Aaron and the children of Israel. And at a certain point in describing the holidays, there is what seems to be an interruption. There's something that's introduced that doesn't have to do with holidays at all, and that is that each person, when farming the land, was supposed to not actually farm, not harvest the four corners, the payot, but to leave them for the poor, so that poor people could come and glean in the corners of the fields, and they hopefully would have what it was that they needed. Later, rabbis wondered why the apparent interruption, why the change of topics. We're talking about the holidays after all, and there is a particular rabbi who said, Rabbi Abdimi, that a person who appropriately followed the laws of Pe'ah, of leaving the corners of the fields for the poor, that regarding that person, Ma'alin alav ki'ilu bana Beit HaMikdash. That person is regarded as having built the holy temple and made all of the appropriate offerings within the holy temple. In other words, the Torah is teaching us that what is essential to everything that we do is taking care of each other. That's not on the margins. That's not in the footnotes. That is the essence of the whole enterprise of constituting a sacred community. So when we ask ourselves, what are we supposed to be accomplishing as a synagogue? Yes, we are educating children, but educating them toward what? Yes, we are observing, but toward what end? And the what and the toward what end is the importance of taking care of each other. That is essential. That is focal. Now, how does this actually play out? So first, I would indicate what we should not do. So very concretely, people come, they want to be part of a synagogue. There should not be a barrier based on finance. You find out what people are capable of contributing. And there are situations when our doors are open, even if a person is incapable at that point in their lives of contributing financially in any way. We have said to people who sometimes feel uncomfortable about that, one day, God willing, you will be able to make it possible for other people to be able to join the community. So what we do not do is erect a barrier on that basis. What we also do not do is question subtly or overtly why the person is in that situation. You will discover, if you read through the Torah, that the person who lacks financial resources is not blamed. We don't say, maybe you didn't try hard enough. We don't say, maybe you are not being as determined as you should be. It is a situation, and the responsibility falls on the community to be able to offer help. And so what we don't do is erect barriers, and what we don't do is to blame. And so what we should do is subtly and proactively and overtly provide for people's needs. You need a certain kind of support, we're going to provide it. And I have to say, folks, that the rabbis and the chazan certainly can do whatever it is that we can do, but it takes this village to be able to recognize people's needs, to be able to find dignified ways to address people's needs. And when that happens, we are doing the essence of what it is that we are here for. Just one example, having the bima here allows everybody to be able more easily to come and to receive an honor. That is not something which is a mistake. That is something which was extremely intentional. And there are other ways, and we need to continue to find better and better ways. You may know that virtually every holiday that we celebrate has as part of it an element of taking care of other people. Sukkot, you open your sukkah and you welcome people in. On Purim, you give matanot le'evunim. You make sure that everybody can participate in the mitzvah of Purim. Pesach, ma'ot chitin, everybody sits down to a seder. Everybody should have what it is that they need. And sometimes we focus on other aspects of those holidays, and that's okay. We want to build a beautiful sukkah. We want to find the right outfit for Purim. We want to make sure that we have great side dishes at our seder. But let's remember, none of that is what's essential. The Torah places caring for each other in the center, and we need to do that as well. So I want to get back to the person that I started our conversation with. His father and his grandfather were rabbis, and he found himself adrift. He decided to set up a scholarship at a major Jewish institution to make sure that finances wouldn't get in anybody's way. He decided that he was going to place his concern for other people at the center of his own philanthropic efforts. And of that, I would say, Ke'ilu bana et Beit HaMikdash. It is as though he built the Holy Temple. And we can do that too, within and beyond this holy space, continuing to remind ourselves by making it focal in our thoughts that what we're really here for is to take care of each other. Shabbat Shalom.